Good morning, everybody. So you all are IT, you know this. All you do is prompt ChatGPT to say, make up a good bio, and that's all that was. It's fake, so none of it's true. Good morning. I realize I stand between you and lunch. So here's the deal. This is not a speech. God, that's boring. This is going to be interactive. If you guys talk to me, we'll end on time, maybe early. If you guys stare at the ceiling, no lunch. So kidding, of course. But it will be interactive. I can't just sit behind the podium. I'm going to walk around. I already teased the back row that they're going to become the front row because I'm going to walk over there. Don't think of this as a 1-hour presentation. We're going to chat. And while the topic is supposed to be resilient leadership, the reality is going to be failure and quitting. And that's what we're going to talk about. I'm an expert failure. That's why I'm here. You know, you fail so much, you become an expert at it, and then people retain you to come talk about failing. Any native speaking Japanese? Because I'm going to butcher this. Yeah. Yes? Okay. If you can pronounce it better than I. But the concept we'll discuss later is nanakarobi yaoki in Japanese. And this drives me every day. This sits on my staircase at home that I get to see it every day going up and down. We'll get to that here in a second. So, question 1. Show of hands, whatever your interpretation of the word is. How many of you think that you are quitters? Just show of hands. And you can't, doesn't matter, right? Just there's no wrong answer here, right? It's right. Okay. I respect that. All right. Somebody who raised your hand, why? If you feel comfortable, why do you think you're a quitter and what did you quit? And breaking up with your boyfriend and girlfriend doesn't count. Sorry, I forgot to say that one. I quit on that relationship. Sir? Bad habits. Quitting bad habits. Ooh, very nice. Okay, can you tell me a bit more?
Quitting addiction.
All right, awesome. Perfect. That's a great example of healthy quitting. Who else? Sir?
Something I'm not interested in.
So if something doesn't...
Something and you didn't,
Sure.
didn't allow me, to get what I want. Satisfaction what I want.
You tried something, you didn't like it, you quit,
Work or whatever.
Sure. Cocaine, you only try once, you didn't like it. Like, not doing that again. No, fair enough. Who else? Sir? Oh, I'm sorry, you're wearing a Red Bull shirt. I'm a Ferrari fan, never mind. Next. No. Next, I don't see that table. So, go ahead, sir, go ahead.
Business as usual. Trying to break what has always been the process to something new.
I love that. Elaborate more for me on that, the business as usual.
As a professional client executive, what we're doing is helping customers modernize. Yep. And modernization sometimes means changing what you've done because it's always worked.
Right.
So that's
Right. We've always done it that way. Absolutely. Excellent. There were a bunch of hands on the back. Sir? Love that. Again, healthy quitting. Did you guys hear that? He quit being angry at things he can't control. Your coworkers, I presume, right? But yes. Who else? Give me quitting, healthy or not, right? We've heard several examples of healthy quitting, and I'm in full support of that. But sometimes we just give up, right? And something is hard, and if it doesn't come easy, then I don't want to deal with this. It's too stressful. I'm too tired. I need a good night's sleep, and I'm just going to stop, whatever that it is, right? In the back, don't make me walk over. Examples of quitting. Anybody? Swear to God, I'll come back there. I'm short. It'll take me a while to walk over there, but still. All right. Well, we'll come back to quitting. We're going to talk a lot about quitting and failing, but all right. Follow-up question. Show of hands again. How many of you think you're failures? And by the way, just for the record, when I've given this before, people are like, well, you could ask it nicer. You could say who's quit or failed. I know. but it's sexier for us to label ourselves as I'm a quitter or I'm a failure, right? So that's why I ask it that way. Thank you. Don't worry. Don't be offended. Failures in the room? Every single one of you needs to raise your damn hand. Give me a break. No, we've all failed. Like, not at all. I succeeded at everything. No, we've all failed, guys, right? Follow-up question, same one. Examples of your failures. Anybody? Sir?
I failed at 2 businesses.
Awesome. I mean, not awesome that you failed at 2 businesses, but thank you for sharing. Absolutely. Sure. That's honest and vulnerable. I appreciate it.
But now I'm working on one that's being successful. I'm happy about that.
All right. Well, I get it. That's awesome. I'm here today having failed out of school. I failed out of law school. College, I did great. I finished Marshall in 3 years. A was good, B was bad. I thought I was all that. Made 1 C in college, went to law school. Whew. WVU. First semester, straight C's and an F. They're like, you're going on academic probation. I'm like, okay. Second semester, I forget what, but a bunch of F's too, right? And they're like, you have to sit out a semester. I'm like, screw it. I'll sit out a whole year. I was the youngest in my class anyway, but I failed. And it's not just, we often think of like academia, we think of work, we think of businesses. I failed in my personal life. I'm 0 for 2. I'm divorced twice. I'm on my 3rd, right? Not my 3rd divorce, my 3rd marriage. It's actually a public service, by the way. Statistically, the more divorces I have, the less likely it is that you'll divorce. So you're welcome. So, but again, I failed in a multitude of ways, be it academically, be it at work, be it in my personal life, and that is the part of the resilience, right? The whole concept is resilient leadership. We'll get to the Japanese proverb here in a second, but give me more examples about failures. What else have you all failed at? Speak up. I mean, the acoustics are great here, but speak up if you can. Hand there, sir? Yeah.
Keeping a diet.
Keeping a diet? I think we've all failed at that one. Absolutely. Yeah. It's, I did the COVID-20 and I'm still struggling to lose the COVID-20, so. But that's a good one too, absolutely. Yeah, we try and then be it temptation, be it frustration, right? I'm not losing weight quickly enough, screw it. And then you're like, all right, extra large pepperoni pizza, bring it over, right? Like, I been there, done that, right? And don't forget the garlic knots, right? So, sir, the other Red Bull.
The other failure, sports.
Okay.
Time where I failed to make a team.
Okay, failed to make a team, and then what did you do?
I quit.
Not where I was going with it, but okay. Yeah, I was hoping for, I'm like, I didn't give up. I trained hard, came back the next season and lettered. Nope, I quit. I'm like, screw it. It's too hard. I'm gonna go play whatever the new game is, I don't know. Pickleball? Tetris? Something. Contra? I'm dating myself. Who was it? Was it Luke? You was 3 when I graduated college. I don't like that. I'm never the old guy. All of a sudden, I'm the old guy. Anyway, there's a difference between failing and quitting. I'm a very proud failure. It is very much a defining element in who I am. And I love telling people, I'm like, yep, I'm a failure. And we have different labels and different expectations of what is a success and what is a failure, but I own that failure. Quitting's a little different. Yes, healthy quitting, absolutely. Quitting bad habits, quitting addiction, quitting toxic relationships, quitting sports teams that we don't make on the first. But to just give up out of frustration, quitting as in giving up, no. You owe more to yourself, right? And I think there's something to be said about affirmations, because I've been that guy who is lucky enough to be with friends and colleagues and family, and for whatever reason, maybe because I project a big post-it note on my forehead that says failure, ask me a question, they feel comfortable coming to me to talk about it. And sometimes, literally, I can think of just a few examples. Somebody has a bad job interview, and we get defensive and we get insecure, and then it's like, well, I'm not going to try the second interview. This is bad. I don't want to go through with it. I'm quitting, right? And all it takes is just a little push to say, you're better than you think you are. And if you don't get it, we're going to get to this later. I love saying, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? For any of your challenges, use your imagination. We often use our imagination for the negative, right? Like, oh, this is going to happen. What if I don't get the job? What if I get fired? What if my car runs out of gas? Whatever, right? Take yourself down that rabbit hole if it helps ease that anxiety. What's the absolute worst thing that can happen, right? You don't get the job. Okay, big whoop. You'll live to live another day, right? It's not the end of the world. Failure at your work, right? Failure at home, failure in your social network. Are you the outcast on Facebook or whatever your generation is? My son calls me boomer because I'm on Facebook. I'm like, you call me boomer one more time. He's taller than me, but I tell him I can still put him through a damn wall. No. In schooling, right, in your life overall, we've all had that. And as long as we recognize it and identify it, we can then build resilience and grow from it. That's how growth happens, folks, right? That's how growth happens. This is me, having failed out of law school. Well, that's me graduating law school, you know. I came back, but I sat out a year. I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I came in with a certain confidence, having been Marshall Student Body President, having finished in 3 years. Again, A was good, B was bad. And then I didn't know what the professors wanted out of me, right? IRAC, for any of you who know IRAC, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. That's how you're supposed to write everything. Blah. I'm a creative writer. I did terribly. But it took me a year of introspection. I took some language courses at WVU. I wrote a poetry book that was never published. Poets get famous when they're dead, right? So wait till I die, and then I'm going to be huge. By the way, sorry, cameraman, I'm a walker. I forgot to warn you. All right, at some point I may leap off the stage, just so you know. All right, go. I did that at a conference. I did that at a conference slightly bigger, and I'm short. Again, I disappeared into the crowd. Like, what happened? I'm okay. But it took that year, that very difficult year. I can look back 2 decades later and laugh about it. But that was a very difficult year for Nawar. I was working part-time at a solo practitioner's law firm in Morgantown. I was taking language classes, and I was trying to figure out myself, right? What happened? I was supposed to be on this trajectory of winning, and I was meant to be a positive force in society, right? That's my goal. I want to leave society better than how I found it, whenever my day comes. Came back a year later, went back into law school, kind of learned what the professors were expecting. It's not that I never retained the knowledge. It's not like that I couldn't grasp it. It's just that I didn't know how to demonstrate to the professors that I knew what they were trying to pass on to us as the students. And that's an easy example with school, but I think we have that also in all aspects of our lives, right? We have that in work, where I might not be communicating with my manager the right way, and if she says something and I think it's something else, and then it's a big kerfuffle because my intake didn't match her outtake. And that's why communication is key, and we'll get to that secret formula here in a little bit. In our personal relationships, right? Again, I'm 0 for 2. I'm an expert at this. That's just marriages. You don't even want to talk relationships. That's a whole other, that's later on at night at the bar, you know. So, but we just don't necessarily know how to show the other person that we understand. And that ultimately then gets to a point where it hits failure. And we fail at something, right? failure versus quitting. We talked a little bit about this already. Sorry, my computer's trying to cancel something. Well, actually, I've already discussed that because I'm going to be cognizant of time. I'll skip this one. Technical issues? I can't seem to move there, manually. I love this quote. The only failure is quitting. Everything else is just gathering information, right? I've spent time in the intelligence community, but basically it's intel gathering, right? It's what did Edison say? I didn't fail. I found 100 different ways for, whatever, it didn't work. And I think so much of these intersections in life are about reframing the process and being not just courageous enough, I'd say crazy enough to own it. I love the saying, if something doesn't go your way, scream, plot twist, and turn with it. And I love it. And I've said this in seminars before. I did West Virginia Virtual Academy, actually, and apparently the kids the very next day were going around in classes saying, plot twist, plot twist. The principal emailed thanking me, but I think he was like, no, everybody's just yelling plot twist in class. But it's true. Again, having the right attitude to roll with the proverbial punches, right? And accept the things, accept the things we can't change. And if it takes a verbalization of plot twist, then so be it. And we roll with it. Famous failures. I love this. Again, these quotes and these descriptions I often turn to, or have often turned to in my life when I've been at a low. Because you might see me peppy and confident up here now, but again, doesn't mean I haven't had my lows, my very deep lows, be it in failures from school, be it in failures from marriages and so forth. So it's stories like that that have really kept me going. Is Lincoln up here? Lincoln's one of my, Lincoln's up there, right? Failed in business 3 times. You've got one more to go if you want to be president. But you'll be president one day. Just tip, avoid the theater. So, failed, you guys got it, good. What? There were no movies back then. Failed 7 times running for Senate before he became president, right? Gates dropped out of Harvard, first business, failed. Edison, teachers told him he was too stupid to learn anything. Rudyard Kipling, his English teacher told him he was a terrible writer, would never amount to anything, right? Jungle Book. I won't read all of them, but the highlights. Steve Jobs, of course, gets fired out of his own company that he co-founded, Apple, right? At its peak. Comes back, of course, and dominates even more. Stephen King's first book, rejected 30 times. I have him beat. My first book was rejected like 50 times. Now, mine didn't become a bestseller in a movie, but that's beside the point. Walt Disney fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Disney, right? Don't let other people define you. Because if any of these people listened to what they were told, we wouldn't have a bunch of things. All you people with iPhones, all you people, Android people, I don't know. What? No Kentucky Fried Chicken, exactly. Now it's just KFC, right? They took the Kentucky out. I'm like, why? Like, I'd be like traveling internationally. I'm like, Kentucky, that's next to my home state. But people think America is New York and DC only, right? No KFC, no Beatles, right? So no Einstein and everything he contributed. But if look back, and I don't need an answer here. I just want you to do a little introspection. Look back at what point in your life when somebody did say, you're not good enough, basically. You can't do this. And how that hopefully motivated you, right? Yeah, you can be downtrodden a little bit and say, damn it, I thought I was better than that. I thought I'd qualify for the team or get that job or whatever. But the hope is that arc then goes full circle and it becomes your fuel and your growth prompt to prove them wrong. I love when somebody says, I can't do something. Then I'm like, yep, we're doing it. Let's go. Anyway, sorry, the remote's not working anymore, so I'm coming back here. Again, and my laptop wants to do all the updates right now because it knew I was going to be speaking. So, Nanaruki Yaoki, right? It's a Japanese proverb that means fall down 7 times, stand up 8, right? And that's, again, literally sitting on my staircase at home. And I love it because, again, going up and down, the symbolism, whether I'm falling or I'm rising, I get to be reminded of that. And 7 and 8 are ambitious. I say, fall down 9, stand up 10. I've lost count now. Fall down 1,122, stand up 1,123. You get the point. But that is the very definition of resilience, right? Saying, dusting yourself off, getting back up and saying, all right, let's do this. For you superhero fans, Captain America, I can do this all day. Get back up there. I don't want to skip this yet because I think, again, this is, if there's one most important slide to me, it's this one. Because this summarizes everything we're talking about today. And it's that healthy stubbornness of, you can't keep me down. You can keep pushing me down, and I'm just going to keep getting back up there, no matter what. That is literally resilience. Question, anybody who wants to share. I won't actually pressure you all to say too much or give like overly private details, but anybody want to share an example of resilience, of standing back up whatever number of failures? Only if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. But, sir.
Sometimes you gotta take calculus 3 or 4 times in college, but you keep trying and usually get there.
And that is so admirable because some of us were like, calculus? Hell no. Never going to use that in my life. Barely passed algebra. Nope. But absolutely, that's a great example. And I so respect that. And it's not like once or twice. It's 3 or 4 times. I so appreciate your vulnerability. Thank you. Who else? Examples of resilience that you can look back to now and easily say, oh, hell yeah, I definitely stood back up. Sir.
I got fired from a job in Charleston, working for a law firm, and the statement was that if you get fired from this law firm, you will never work another job in Charleston.
Oh, wow. And here you are. There you go. Absolutely. Love that. Love that. I can guess the law firm. It's one of 2, but I won't say it. I am a lawyer, after all, and I have friends who are like, I don't practice law. Don't hold it against me. I'm like, sorry. You can see the fangs, though, right here. So. What else? Resilience. Your example of resilience, because this is a team effort, and we're learning from each other. Ma'am. I'm sorry, can you speak up? Buying lottery tickets, for those of you who didn't hear. Yeah, I bought some the other week and went back to buy more, and as I checked I buy before checking if I won. What if I won? But anyway, and I go back to the cashier. I'm like, these are broken. These didn't win. Can I get the winning numbers this time? No, I hear you. Sure. I mean, we're laughing, but on some level, that's resilience. You're like, there's only one way I can quit my damn job that I hate. No. So, what? The sides here. Okay, they're perfect. Sir. Parenting. Absolutely. Nobody said that. We've talked about professional and academia. Parenting resilience. Do you want to elaborate more? Just teenagers?
Yeah. Teenagers. I mean, once how many times are you going to see your kid fail? You think, how many times I have felt as a parent that I have failed? But in reality, I was actually teaching them a lesson. Right. And I've had to, look back at myself and go, okay, yeah, that was bad, but what did I do to correct it? How did I stand up after?
Absolutely. It's even in our failures, we're teaching them. And even in our frustrations with them, hopefully, we're making a positive impact. Absolutely. Excellent. Others? Sir? Tell me more. I think I know where you're headed, but tell me more. Tell us more.
I was in the trucking industry, and now I ain't anymore. I was in it for 30 years.
I was going to ask how many years. Wow, 30 years. And how long have you been in this field now?
8 months.
8 months. Oh, wow, you're a newbie. Okay. But that's awesome. And it's funny you say that. Bill Frazier, he's since passed, but those of you in the Huntington area might remember him. He was one of the heavy hitter attorneys in Huntington. Started off his career as a truck driver. Did that for years, then went to law school, became a lawyer, did great, right? Very blessed. Yeah, I appreciate that, absolutely. All right, the back, this is your last chance. One of those 3 tables in the back, say something, or I'm walking over there. You guys are like, don't threaten me. We don't respond well to that. No? Oh, yes! Woo! Sir.
Took me 2 colleges and a lot of W's on a transcript, but I didn't get a degree.
But that's huge, and that's understated, because you know what? You're not the only one. That happens more often than we admit or share. You know, I've had friends that are like, oh, I'm on the 7-year program, and you're like, oh, did you get your master's too? No, I finally got my undergraduate. Hey, good for you. Nothing wrong with that at all. But again, it's that standing back up that got you there. Whether it's changing schools, whether it's changing programs, and so on. So, awesome, kudos. So, again, told you this is interactive. That way I talk less and I just point at you and make fun. No, I'm kidding. What is your definition of resilience? I've hinted to it a lot, but I'm about to give you my elements of what makes resilience. But before I do that, I want to get your answers. What does resilience look like to you?
Just the courage to get up and try again.
Courage to get up and try again. Perfectly summed up. That could go in Webster's. Absolutely. Simple and straight. Absolutely. What else? Keep moving forward. Absolutely. What is it? Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who else?
Ignoring your doubters.
Ignoring your doubters. Absolutely. Love that. This is right. The people who are pushing you, the people who are saying, you're not good enough, you'll never amount to anything, you can't do this, you're a failure, you're a loser. That's just noise. We block them out, and then we prove them wrong. And then we go back and rub it in their face. No, don't do that. No. Take the high road. Right? I think Steve Martin said, be so good that they can't ignore you anymore. You don't actually need to go rub it in their face. They're going to realize it, and they're going to be like, damn it, we missed out on Tim or Bob or whatever your name is, sir. So, absolutely. Sir?
Courage to change.
Courage to change. Give me a bit more. I hear what you're saying. Give me a bit more. Change what?
It could be changing your personal intake of food.
Well, that's not cool, but okay. You could have picked a better example. I want my pizza. No.
But being heavy most of my marriage,
Sure.
I had to lose to keep it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
So courage to change. I mentioned Kentucky Fried Chicken. I didn't mention Popeyes. Changing from old habits to new. Trying to eat healthy. My next goal is to exercise.
Hey, but all of those are steps in the right direction, right? Absolutely. Excellent. Any more? Never quit. Absolutely. Perfectly summed up. You can fail, but don't quit. Right? Again, besides healthy quitting, which I'm a full proponent of, but fail and fail again, but never quit. Love that. See, you guys sabotaged the remote, so I can't walk around anymore. I'm on to you. The definition I found is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. But that's not the only definition. Obviously, everything we heard already fits perfectly. Now, in the legal world, right, we break down everything into elements, and the elements of the rule. Well, for me, it's the elements of resilience. So this is Nawar's opinion of what makes up resilience. Trust. If there's one word in Nawar land, the most important single word is trust. I can't do anything. You can't do anything without trust. Absolutely not. We'll get to that next. Optimism, tenacity, a belief in self, and on some level, a belief in others. But mostly, you have to believe in yourself first before you can believe in others. And very importantly, perhaps second after trust, gratitude. Because you need things in perspective, believe me. So trust, right? You guys remember Aladdin? Right. It's not because I'm of Arab extraction, it's funny, okay? But that scene, do you trust me? Right? In my opinion, our greatest challenge as humanity, as a society, in any level, is lack of trust. We get to that lack, and lack of trust is across the board. I don't know you, I don't trust you, I don't know who you are, no, I don't trust you. If you say here, trust fall, I'm like, hell no, right? Let's try it, no. Somebody catch me, please. How'd you end up with that broken neck, Nawar? Well, you see. Just trying to make a point, and it backfired. How do we get to lack of trust? It's through lack of communication and lack of understanding. You flip all those elements into the positive, and the formula is very simple. It's nothing genius. I live by it. I open my seminars with it. It's in my books. Communication plus understanding equals trust. Ta-da! That's it. If I know how to effectively communicate with you, if I truly understand you, I don't have to agree with you, but I truly understand you, then the trust will blossom organically. And then if I trust you, well, then anything's possible. Nawar, turn your back, jump, we'll catch you. Hell yeah, you're going to catch me, no doubt. Nawar, I'll get you this deadline by Friday. All right, we got it, right? Nawar, don't eat KFC anymore because, the oil's actually extra fatty and you're going to get a stroke. Okay, great, thanks. Because I believe you, right? How many times like, well, but I don't believe him. Oh, my doctor said this, but I don't believe him, but they're your doctor, right? And because there's no trust. It's not because of lack of knowledge, it's lack of trust. So, I know we're coming up on time. I apologize, no lunch. But actually, my seminars run up to 4 hours, so you guys are getting like the short version. You're welcome. Next, optimism. Right, Optimism Prime, right. So, have you guys done Clifton Strength Fighters? So Myers-Briggs is the #1 organizational psychology tool used by governments and private corporation. The second most utilized one is Gallup's Clifton Strength Finder, and it identifies your top 5 strengths. I know this is going to come as a shock to you all, but my #1 is optimism. We could be in the inner depths of hell, and I'd be like, you know what, but it's warm here. Look at the positive side. And we get s'mores anytime we want. Granted, it's not marshmallows, it's my fingers, but still. So somebody called me toxic positivity, and I was truly offended. I'm like, I'm not delusional. There's a line between delusional and positive and optimistic, but there's something to be said about that optimism, and that it's easy to be optimistic when things are good. Hey, the weather's getting nice, we can go hike outside, we're going to have a nice time, right? But reflect onto your own being. How do you behave when things are not going your way? When things are down in the dumps, it's a dumpster fire, everything's collapsing, the sky is literally falling, but you know what? You manage to find that beacon of hope, right? And more so, when you find that, you become the spark. Then you become the beacon that other people will look and say, Sarah's keeping the faith. I trust her. I believe in her. Everything's going to be okay. We'll find our way out, right? Sarah told me to say that, by the way, just saying. So, sir.
Is that the difference between the optimist and the pessimist?
That's there. Melinda Gates, right, co-founder of the Gates Foundation, Bill's ex-wife. I love this quote by her. Optimism isn't a belief that things will automatically get better. It is a conviction that we can make things better, right? It's not the rose-colored glasses, everything's hunky-dory, rainbows and butterfly every day. Nobody's saying that. I'm certainly am not that person either. But it's this, again, conviction that whatever small act I have, I can make a positive impact. And if not, then that's the resilience cycle again, and I'll get back up and try again and try some other small act. And maybe occasionally I get to make a bigger impact with a bigger act. Tenacity. I love this definition. Tenacity is setting a goal so big you can't possibly achieve it, and then growing into the person who can. Right? And it's not even like you set a goal in your head and you're like, okay, I'm going to hit the lottery. I'm going to become a millionaire by age 30. And now, and forget about it. Shoot, I was going to give another quote and it escapes me. Dreaming and setting goals without action is just a wish, right? Like, oh, I want to be a millionaire by age 30. Okay, I'm going to sit around and wait for the money, right? It doesn't work that way. We have to act on it. We have to pursue our intents. We have to get back up because life's going to knock us down time and again and again. And if we had more time, I'd share way many more failures with you, but you guys are like, we get it. You're a failure. Fine. Read the room. We're hungry. Tenacity is the ability to hang on when letting go appears most attractive. And what's letting go? Quitting. Right? Again, you're seeing how all the dots are actually connected. I'm rushing through a little bit because I want to finish the slides and don't want to hold you over. Believing in yourself. Everybody knows I think everybody knows the Winnie the Pooh quote that became a meme and you see it all over, right? But promise me you'll always remember you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And it's a simple children's book that to me is so poignant with its messaging. And I send this to my staff, literally, right? I'm that boss, right? I'll be like, Monday motivation, and we have a Teams chat, and I'll put something, the mountain you were climbing, you were only supposed to, the mountain you were carrying, you were only supposed to climb, like, and all that stuff. But by the way, just for the record, I'm not here in official capacity. DHS makes me say that. I'm not here as Homeland Security. I'm here as Nawar Shora. I took a day off work today, right? Homeland Security official says, fall 7 times, stand up 8. Right. Question, for those who want to share, how do you believe in yourself? Right? Like, is it a visualization? Is it like some people do vision boards? And you do a vision board, this is the car I want, this is the vacation I want, this is the job I want, this is the partner I want, right? My vision board had Charlize on it for years. Didn't work. Charlize Theron never came, and so I'm kidding. Happily married, love my wife. So, how do you believe in yourself? What tools? Because we don't often think in those terms, right? You're not actually thinking, how am I going to believe in myself today, right? We kind of just naturally do it. I'm asking you to kind of dissect that moment in time and say, how am I believing in myself? Sir.
I am a consistent, everyday that task. So that I know that I've accomplished that thing. So for me, I get up and I do something physical, whether it's treadmill or weights or something.
Sure.
Every day, 5:30, no matter what, I get up and do something. And so that consistency then helps me believe in myself.
Perfect, love it. And whether it's exercise or just, as you said, that task. All right, what else? Sir.
I get out there.
You know what? You're right. But in the most basic sense, you're absolutely right. Jokes aside, is being able to have, because we've all had those days where like, crap, not today. It's already Monday, and I'm not ready for the week. Friday was just here. So sure, I'll give you that. What else? Sir.
Whenever I'm faced with a daunting task or something that I feel like is really challenging, I just try to look back at all the other moments I've had in my life with, very challenging things and remind myself of those successes and, where I'm at now. So that gives me that confidence to.
Absolutely. Fall back on your prior successes, right? Your record against the bad days is 100% because you're still here. You may not be where you wanted to be. You're not quite, you haven't hit your million by 30 yet, right? But you're still here, right? You haven't quit. You haven't given up. So I already talked about this earlier, but again, whenever I'm consulting with a friend, don't worry, I don't charge them, but I like buy me dinner. No, I'm kidding. I don't do any of that. I say, okay, fine. The world's ending. The walls are closing in on you. Let's take that absolute fear factor and take it down all the way to the end of the thread. What is the absolute worst thing that can happen? And then, we go through that exercise, and all of a sudden, the walls aren't really as close as we thought, and the sky isn't falling. It's just some rain, and we'll get wet, and that's okay, because we'll live to be dry and move on. Make this a habit. In your fearful moments, when things are bad or frustrating or uncertain, and anxiety takes hold, pause, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, disarm the fear. What's the absolute worst thing that can happen? Okay, so I get fired. Fine, so be it, right? Believe you me, as a federal employee right now, I'm like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I could get fired. Well, that's fine, right? I've got my speaking gig on the side, right? Whatever, right? So, I think once you say that out loud to yourself, it disarms it. And all of a sudden you realize it's actually not that bad. And that's the absolute worst thing that can happen. So then most likely it won't be the absolute worst thing. If anything bad happens, it'll probably be here. And who knows? Maybe something good will actually happen out of all this, right? The belief in self is a must. And last, but certainly not least, gratitude. Gratitude. We're really good about it in November. I see all my friends on Facebook. Today I'm thankful for this. Today I'm thankful for that. Today I'm thankful because I had turkey. Today I'm thankful that I can afford a turkey. Today I'm thankful for my parents. Great, good for you. And then Thanksgiving ends and it's like, life sucks. Yeah, I hate you all. Like, what happened to gratefulness? Why is it seasonal? Christmas time, I don't care what your religion is. I'm Muslim. I don't care what your religion is. Every Christmas time, everybody's so friendly. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, I don't care whichever you want to say, I really don't care, right? But everybody's friendly. People smile at each other, strangers wave. Would you like some chocolate? I don't know you. It's okay, chocolate. It's a holiday season. Look, it's peanut butter, right? New Year's comes and everybody's a jerk again. Why are we seasonal with our gratitude and our kindness? Right? Think about that. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it too, but I'm calling us all out on it. No, I think today I'm grateful for is huge for every day. Today I'm grateful for my health. That's my biggest thing always. Because you can hit the Powerball, 560 million. You could be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Without your health, it's nothing. Look at Steve Jobs. Maybe Steve Jobs wasn't supposed to leave us then. But he had pancreatic cancer, and it was horrific, and he's no longer here. Didn't matter all the power, influence, wealth, knowledge he had. Nothing can stop that. So I start off my daily gratitude with, I'm grateful for my health, right? And I'm grateful for my wife's poor vision. No, I'm kidding. But she's like, honey, is that you? Yep, I'm still Brad Pitt. So, okay, more like an Ewok, whatever. No. The Ewoks are fierce warriors. They're just furry and fuzzy and cute. I'm a proud Ewok. So, gratitude hack. Learn to say thank you in multiple languages. Even if you don't leave the state, I don't care. Learn to say thank you in multiple languages. We talk about breaking the ice. I'm coming up on time. Okay. Okay, Hussein said I could keep going. Sorry, guys. You're hungry? Blame him. Take it up with him later. No, I'll be quick. But we talk about breaking the ice. Saying thank you in someone's other language or native language melts the entire glacier, right? And thank you is an easy one. Just learning different languages, I think, is important, right? I grew up in West Virginia. I was born in Syria. I speak Arabic, broken French. I can cuss you out in German and in English. we won't go to German, okay? Don't. They don't like me in Germany for some reason. Every time I go, they're like, whoa. No, kidding. I know how to say thank you also in German. Dankeschön. No, but, shukran is Arabic. Danke is German. Obrigado is in Portuguese. The cool thing about Portuguese, it's whatever your gender is the gender of the, like we say thank you, it's gender neutral in English, right? Oftentimes languages are thank you female if you're a female, thank you male if you're a male. In Portuguese, which of course Brazil speaks, it's obrigado. As a male, I would say obrigado. As a female, you would say obrigada. Merci in French. But this is a bigger hack than you realize. Try it. Next time you go to a Mexican restaurant, or Italian restaurant, say grazie, right? French, you meet somebody like, oh, you're from France. I'm at the Hampton Inn. People were walking out this morning. I couldn't identify the language, but it was not English. And I'm always curious. And I'm that guy who literally be like, oh, may I ask where you're from originally? Or what's your name mean? And whatever and some people will say, well, we're Italian from New England. Okay, oh, cool. And then I'll find a story, because that's the end. Why? Because the whole goal is to build the trust, right? Every Italian I meet, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm 11% Italian, because I did the little DNA thing before the government said, you're giving, everybody now knows your DNA, right? But I'm 11% Italian, because my mother is a descendant of the Moors and Sicily, right, literally. So her maiden name is Murabet. We know a Sicilian-American family in Huntington, Dr. Morabito. You don't think you go up that tree line enough? They're literally related. The family that stayed, the family that left. So the gratitude hack isn't just about gratitude. It's a way for you to get in then on the trust factor and communicate and understand and build trust. And again, if I trust you and you trust me, anything's possible. I'll rush through because we're ending. Resilience applied, right? We talked about several examples of the failures, mine and yours. For those of you who didn't speak up, and I'm sure some of you are like, yeah, I just didn't want to really share that in front of my colleagues or people I don't know, and so on. It's having the inner conviction to believe in yourself enough to stand back up. And it doesn't mean we finish today and hey, everything's hunky-dory. You're never going to fail again, and you certainly will never quit again, right? No, absolutely not. The road before us is unknown, and there could be all sorts of pitfalls and tragedies and challenges and tests. And the one thing I keep going back to is fall 7 times, stand up 8. So with that, I know you guys are hungry. I know the food is out. I can smell it. But any questions? And cute minions, because you know what? They're just adorable. But any questions? You're like, no, we're hungry. Sir.
Just one on the tenacity. The hanging on, is it possible to let go of some things and try to decide what you let go of, what you hang on to in order to stay resilient?
Absolutely. Did you guys all hear that? For tenacity, is it okay to let go of something to figure out what to focus on? Absolutely. I would say that's, depending on where we are in our journey, I would say that's a more advanced perspective. Absolutely. Sometimes it's better for us to be brave enough to let things go so we can focus on the other things. So yeah, it's not to say, I'm holding onto the Titanic, I'm not leaving. I'm not quitting. Look, I didn't quit. It's cold. It's wet. Oh, God, there's Leo, right? So, yeah. No, absolutely. See, okay, you guys are older than I thought. For some of you, I'm like, damn it, did they know the Titanic? Did they? Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That's healthy. That's mature. That's the polar opposite of giving up. That's strategic thinking and figuring out, all right, these are my options. I can't carry all 7 boxes. This one is the least important. Forget that. Let me focus on these 6 or 5 or 1 or whatever it is. Absolutely. Any other questions? No, you guys are like we're hungry. Okay. I'll loiter around here a little bit if you guys want to ask me any one-on-one questions. Otherwise, hopefully you appreciated this. This is nothing new. I'm not teaching you anything you didn't know. But I was here to be an echo chamber to kind of tell you, you know what? Keep going. Get back up there. Don't let the bad days win, right? You're better than you realize. And stay optimistic during the dark days, not when it's nice in spring and the weather's great and la la la, right? And be grateful more than just November, please. And be kind more than just December, right? So with that, thank you all very much.